You're about to listen to the Dr. Dahlia Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Dahlia Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Dahlia.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dr. Dahlia Show. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So I'm not aging well. I think a lot of us aren't aging well. And one of the things I attribute to that are my knees. All the running, skiing, athletics I did, I got now bone on bone. And I'm still too young for a knee replacement. And so what's happening is my level of activity is dropping. And when your level of activity drops, you gain weight. You don't keep up your muscle mass. You don't keep up your activity. You start to not do things that you should. I mean, I am, I'll still hike and I'll still hit Disneyland if that's where the kids want to go. And I'm going to try to next month go to Rocky Mountain State Park. I have a memorial to go to for my friend. But I'm going to sneak away for a few hours and try to hit the park and do a quick hike if I can. But am I doing an all weekend hike? No, can't do it. Can't do it. And years ago, remember I told you that in Hampshire, England, scientists took a woman's, a piece of her cartilage in her knee, a little small piece. And they were working on, in a laboratory setting, growing that piece into a bigger piece to reimplant in the knee. And we spoke about this on the show. This was, maybe 13 years ago. And I was talking about how, this sounds like this may be the way to go for our knee cartilage and, for improving our joints. And then you didn't really hear much about it. I don't know if the clinical trial failed. I couldn't find any news on it. I couldn't find any studies on that. Well, we do have a little bit of a breakthrough here in 2026 where Stanford scientists were able to regrow cartilage and reverse arthritis. And as I said before, this might be where we need to go, especially for those of us that are still too young to get knee replacements. So how they did this, it's a treatment that targets a protein linked to aging. And what it does is, what ends up happening, these are Stanford medicine researchers, they collect a little sample of the cartilage during knee replacement surgeries. Then they produce functional cartilage when this cartilage is exposed to this treatment. They say the findings, according to Science Daily, raise the possibility that damaged cartilage caused by aging or osteoarthritis could one day be repaired with either a local injection or an oral medication. If this is successful, we might not have to go through knee and hip replacement surgeries, which, I am amazed at what these knee and hip replacements do for functionality, but I am just still blown away that my body won't last 50 years, 60 years, 70 years on its own. I have to go bionic just to make it through the next few decades. They say an oral version of the treatment is already being tested in clinical trials. As you know, osteoarthritis is the wear and tear of joints. It's the most common form of arthritis. You got traumatic arthritis from a sprain and twist and fall. You have rheumatoid arthritis. You have gouty arthritis, inflammatory arthritis, septic arthritis where it's an infection. But osteoarthritis is more of the degenerative arthritis that we all seem to get. You get your pain, your stiffness, your swelling. They say it costs the U.S. and healthcare costs $65 billion a year. So what do? Well, we do physical therapy, we do exercise, we do steroid injections, we might do Synvisc or hyaluronic acid, we might use synthetic material to help make the knee feel like you're having that shock absorption. But unfortunately, for those of us with some major arthritis, it doesn't seem to work, and sometimes we just need a replacement. Well, what would be nice is to take the little pieces of cartilage I have left, grow it into a bigger piece, and then throw it back in there. So this new treatment works by blocking a protein called 15-PGDH, which researchers call a gyrozyme. And it's a class of proteins that become more abundant with age and contributes to declining tissue function throughout the body. Apparently, there's been studies for a while on this. Previous studies found that this 15-PGDH plays a major role in age-related muscle decline in mice. I'd like to get my muscle back. They say when researchers block the protein, older animals gain muscle mass and endurance. When the protein is artificially increased in young mice, their muscles become weaker. So they also found that this 15-PGDH can lead to the regeneration of bone, nerve, and blood cells. So regeneration occurs because our stem cells multiply and develop into new specialized cells. Cartilage doesn't necessarily rely on stem cells. Cartilage has chondrocytes. They could shift their gene activity and return to a more youthful state with some manipulation. And I know, when we manipulate, with nature, it can sometimes bite us in the butt. But I got to tell you, man, I'm getting ready for a knee replacement. I need something. So believing that if they could shift some genetic activity and get these chondrocytes to produce more of, the cartilage necessary that provides shock absorption, we could maybe save our knees. And so the researchers found that the gerozyme inhibitor causes a dramatic regeneration of cartilage beyond what has been reported with any other drug or intervention. And I guess we have three forms of cartilage. You have your elastic cartilage, that give you, the flexibility like in your outer ear. You got the fibrocartilage, which is kind of tough, shock absorbing, and we have that especially in our vertebrae. And then we have the hyaline cartilage, which is smooth, a little bit more slippery, allow the joints to move more freely. And the osteoarthritis affects primarily our hyaline cartilage and or our articular cartilage of the joints. And so this could be pretty big. I'm excited about that. Again, I don't want to get too excited because every time I see something, you don't really hear a lot of the follow up. But I'm going to keep my eye on this because I might need it myself. But inhibiting a protein that messes with your longevity of your joints and cartilage is something that, for me, is right up my alley. In the meantime, try to protect your joints. Exercise, hydrate, lose weight so you don't have that extra pressure on the joints. And get yourself checked out. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY. Don't go away.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, listen up. Because we have legal professionals standing by right now to answer your questions for free. We'll help you find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. If you were hurt in a car accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident, rideshare accident, slip and fall, or any other type of accident, call our 24/7 hotline now and let us help you find out how much your case is potentially worth. Call 800-978-6800. That's 800-978-6800. 800-978-6800. I'm Gina Hart, here with spokesman Jack Mercer. So Jack, tell our listeners who should give us a call right now.
Well, Gina, first off, thank you for having me join you here in the studio. It's always great to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. The call is free, the consultation is free, and with our no-fee guarantee, you pay nothing unless we win you money.
That's great advice. Thanks, Jack. And is it true that the Legal Help Center is open 24/7?
That's right, Gina. We're open anytime you need us, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So if you or someone you know were injured in an accident of any kind, call now and let us help you find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-978-6800. That's 800-978-6800. 800-978-6800. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. Not available in California. May not be available in all states.
And And we are back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Doc-Dahlia, 1-877-DOCDALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer. And big thanks to you all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or X at Dr. Dahlia, Facebook, The Dr. Dahlia Show, and on YouTube, click like and subscribe. So I was asking one of my friends about some ideas for Father's Day, and I asked what they're going to do. And she said, well, the kids are going to probably go to Home Depot and get them like a tool or something, like a new, a drill set. And then they're going to go to dinner that day. But they're not eating meat these days. So she's going to find a nice, maybe Italian place where they could get, good pasta or maybe some fish and, take dad to a nice dinner. Is he aware you're not eating meat these days? And is he aware that extends the holidays and Father's Day? Yeah. Oh, no, he's fine with it. We're just all about health right now. And so we'll, it's not going to be a vegan meal, but we'll definitely have a good dose of vegetables. Like, that Father's Day sounds like it sucks. Hey, come on. Then I talked to another friend. What are you guys doing for Father's Day? Oh, barbecue. That's going to be great. My dad's coming. His mom might come and we'll just kind of have the family over. But I got a lot to do. So, can't meet up with you this weekend because we got a lot to do. We got a lot of cleaning to do. We got to get ready. And I talk about this every year. Why doesn't anybody listen? Stop the barbecue. Rethink the barbecue. I mean, think about it. You're about to have, or your husband, about to have a day off. And this is about him. And instead, there's all this pressure to clean and scrub the grill and put out a kiddie pool and clean up the dog poop and rake the leaves and wash off the lawn furniture and then go shopping to get some food and then marinate the food and all because your father-in-law is coming over. Does anybody want to spend Father's Day that way? I just don't get it, people. I don't get it. You can have the coolest father-in-law, but what is it that dads really, really want? All right. Well, as I've said with moms, okay, do dads really want, a tool that reminds them that they have chores to do? Yeah, my husband is going to be doing this big project outside where he's going to help build an awning. So for Father's Day, I'm going to get him some tools for that job. Thank you, dear. Guys, come on, man. Just, or another big gift is the tie. Go get your dad a tie. Men don't like to wear ties. Yeah, they may have to for work, and yes, they may need some good ties, but is that something they really, really want? The average dad, and I'm not a dad, I'm a mom, but speaking from mom experience, if I were a dad, I think what I would really, really want is a day off. I would want everybody to leave me the hell alone. I would want to eat what I want to eat. If I have to go potty, I'd like to go potty without thinking I got to share the bathroom with a bunch of in-laws. I would like to not have to, be entertaining people. Right? I'd like to maybe just watch soccer or TV or something. Take a nap. Go for a hike. That's what you could do as a family. All right, is you'll ask Dad, what does he want? And he's going to be like, nothing. Don't get me anything. Now, why do dads say that? Why do dads tell you, don't get him anything? Because the most common gift you get him is something that involves chores. So he's like, don't get it for me. Because the last thing he wants to hear 2 days later is, oh, why don't you try out that gift that we got you? You mean the barbecue cleaner? Yeah. Yippee. I feel so bad. So what do I do? I'm not trying to project myself as an expert, but my husband doesn't like a lot of the gifts I buy him because I'm thinking a leather jacket will look good on him. I'm thinking he'll like certain things. I've learned very early on in my marriage with him that he likes Bass Pro Shop. So just give him a gift certificate to Bass Pro Shop. And I'm like, well, don't you want it to look like I put some thinking into this and some creativity? He goes, no, don't be creative. Just Bass Pro. I'm fine with that. Just let me go and buy some more ammo or some fishing gear or some, okay. But what I did this Father's Day is I said, go take a trip. You need a break. Go take a trip. A trip with you and the kids? No. No. Go take a trip either on your own or with your friends or with, the one family member you want to hang out with. Go do that. And he actually, for a split second, thought about it. He's like, no, I'll be here for Father's Day. He's not even looking forward to Father's Day. I let him pick the restaurant. Now, because I offered, I go, do you want a Brazilian steakhouse? Do you want chop and savor? Do you want, cow meat? I just came up with a whole bunch of meat places for him to eat. And he actually, there's a restaurant he likes, so I let him pick that. Let him have some control because, most dads don't get a lot of say. Okay? It's the kids and the wife planning. It's funny, I have a friend of mine who has daughters. I have a lot of friends who have daughters. And I was asking them, we were going to go to dinner. And I'm like, where do you want to go? And, he said, do you realize this is the first time in years I actually get to choose where we get to go for dinner? And I thought he was joking, and he's not. It's he's got a house full of women, and this isn't anti-women. It just, women seem to make a lot of the decisions these days. So let him make some decisions. All right? And but he might be afraid to say it. He might be afraid to say, look, I want to be by myself. Now, I don't want to see, the family and the in-laws come over. I don't want to have to clean out the backyard on Father's Day. He might be afraid to say that. So just offer, say, look, you know what? I'm going to take the kids and give you, the morning. I'm going to let you sleep in, give you however much time you want. You call us when you want us to come home. And you tell us if you want to go out or go to dinner or what you want to do. Okay. Now, in my family, I do run the risk of my husband never calling. I did that once where I'm like, I'm going to go out, give you the house yourself. You just text me when you want me to come back home. All right. It was like 3 days before he texted me back. So, I kind of know your audience, but before you give them that option. But, men, I don't like Mother's Day and Father's Day. I just don't. I don't, because to me, it's kind of stupid where 364 days of the year, you treat somebody like crap. And then all of a sudden it's okay. It's mommy's day. You got to be nice to me. The kids, you can even hear the kids go, oh, wait a second. Whoa, wait. It's Mother's Day. Oh, crap. I didn't get her anything. I mean, you don't have to get me anything. Same thing with Father's Day. It's, oh, my God, okay, we got to be nice to our dad. You should be nice to your dad all the time. You should show them that, this was the same thing I told you guys about with Mother's Day. What does a mom really want? A mom wants to know that she's still relevant. Same thing with the dad. I mean, we were so integral in your birth with the help of God or nature or whatever you believe. We raised you. I mean, we taught you so much. And then all of a sudden, you guys turned into, I don't know, 4-year-olds that you didn't need us anymore. And then you became teenagers and, you made us feel stupid. And then, now you're adults and, you're feeling guilty. So you're like, can I ask you a question? And then we answer it and you don't like our answer. So we want to feel relevant. So especially dads. Now, I know people think moms are like that. Dads need that too. And so asking your dad for advice, oh, they love that stuff. But don't fake it. Don't be, because we also can pick up if you're, kind of giving us a line. But, if you're like, Dad, look, teach me how to do this with my car. teach me how to make. I need to work on this project. What should I get? Come with me to the store. Show me what I should get. What could I do? I'm going to be fishing for salmon. I want to know what's the best hook. What should I do? I'm going to go fly fishing, whatever. Hunting, just, and let him be a part of that decision-making process. Now, some of you will say, well, I asked my dad for girl advice. That's good, but also that I don't think a lot of dads like to give girl advice. Because they know that it could kind of come back and haunt them if the wife finds out. Well, what you really do, I slept with the girl and I did this, or I did, yeah. So I don't know if I would go there because they might get a little anxious. But ask them for advice. So look, I'm thinking about, getting a house. I'm thinking about refining. What would you do? Make them feel relevant, and not only on Father's Day, but throughout the year. And none of this cologne. Men don't like cologne. They want to smell like men. They don't want to be parfumed. 1-877-Doc-Dolly. Hi, guys. Dr. Dahlia here. Addictions can sneak up on us and come in many forms, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, video games, porn, or something less obvious such as food, internet, or shopping. Addiction can seem innocent at first and then evolve into an insurmountable evil. In our book, Addiction Basics, Caitlin Kalikas and I dive into the common addictions and provide tips for identifying and preventing these before they sneak in and take over our lives. Addiction Basics can be found on Amazon or my website, drdahlia.com. Check it out.
At Hot Shot Secret, we share the science behind common diesel problems. For example,
stiction.
Engine oil can break down under extreme heat, leaving behind varnish, a carbon-based deposit that creates drag on the engine's moving parts. This sticky friction is stiction. Symptoms include a rough idle and the loss of fuel economy and performance. Hot Shot Secret Stiction Eliminator is formulated to be left in the engine. It works as you drive.
Stiction Eliminator is available at truck stops, Tractor Supply, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and online at hotshotsecret.com.
Back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Doc-Dolly, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Are the socialists going to be taken over? Are we going to see multiple cities, later states, later the federal government, being run by one of these, quote, Democratic Socialists of America? They're gaining a lot of steam. They're getting a lot of media attention. And they are becoming very powerfully pivoted, with Mamdani winning the New York mayor race and being the mayor of New York, most populous city in the country. Seattle, Washington, D.C. looks like is going to have their Democratic Socialist mayor. And I'm hearing people on all sides going, you know what? Maybe it's time to try socialism from capitalism. That's not what the Democratic Socialists of America are all about, though. I mean, socialism is one thing. Many of them are anti-Semitic. Many of them are also misinformed. And I'm a little concerned that, as far as I'm concerned, so when it comes to electing somebody who you feel is going to represent you and infuse, very patriotic American values and encourage the benefit of everybody in that city, it's a wonderful thing, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, whatever. But if you're lying and you're getting into power, there's got to be some checks and balance to that. And I usually it should be, a fair election. But I'm wondering, what people are thinking when they hear, like, for example, the platform of the Democratic Socialists of America, Medicare for all, universal health care, no premiums, no copays, no deductibles, reproductive and gender-affirming care all paid for. Oh, okay, who pays for that? who's administering that? That's expensive stuff. You're promising that. And it's nice. It's a really nice sound bite. But how is that going to actually be instituted and carried out? That's a lot of money. Housing, universal rent control, the Democratic Socialists of America want. A guaranteed right to counsel for tenants. Massive public investment in multi-income social housing. Again, where is this money coming from? Education, college for all. Tuition-free public higher education. Eliminate out-of-pocket costs and cancel all student loan debt. You see what they're doing? They're coming up with platforms to hopefully machine gun approach the voters going, okay, hopefully we have somebody who has $30,000 or $300,000 in student loan debt. This is going to appeal to them because we're going to say we want to cancel all the student loan debt. But how does that work? And didn't they realize that with the last few Democratic primaries, canceling student loan debt was very unpopular with the Democrats? Because a lot of Democrats didn't borrow money for college, skipped college maybe, or went to a cheaper facility because they thought they were going to have to, pay their loans. And many Democrats paid off their student loans. So you saw Democrats going, I paid off my student loans and now you're writing them off? Whoa. And then the next question is why are you also going to write off our mortgage? Are you going to write off our car payments? Then it's not a loan. And I told you how to do free college. Have high school end sophomore year, and then junior and senior year is your associate's degree or your trade certificate. It won't cost taxpayers another dime. Mornings are the core classes. The afternoons are all the exposures to all the different industries, life skills, learning how to farm, learning first aid, basic life support, teaching, marketing, stock market, carpentry, electrician. That you get all that up until age 16. Then age 17 and 18, you get your associate's degree or your trade certificate. There you go. You don't have to go. You don't have to, on top of all that, now pay Harvard or pay for free Pepperdine. You don't have to do that. Criminal justice, fighting mass incarceration with abolishing cash bail and mandatory minimums, ending the war on drugs, and demilitarizing police. There was just a shooting in Times Square. There was a shooting at an Anchorage Walmart. Okay, you need the police able to stop these shootings and keep us safe. Every time somebody advocates for defunding, demilitarizing, doing anything negative to the police force and or to criminals, and we see the rebound of that, it's not popular. Expand paid family leave. Free public universal child care and pre-K. This is something that Mamdani says he wants to do. And my question to them is, who's hiring, who's vetting, who is overseeing universal child care? How are you ensuring it's not going to be, like some of these places we saw in Minnesota that didn't even have the kids? Is the government going to be the one to actually hire and ensure that all the standards are kept? Are they going to find the facilities? Or what they're going to do is give money, saying, look, if you watch your kid at home, or I'm going to give you money for you to hire somebody. Well, how many people are going to say, okay, mom, let's get this money. Let's say you're watching the kids. There's going to be fraud. Another thing the Democratic Socialists want is a 32-hour maximum work week. They want to build strong union power. They want aggressive wealth redistribution, heavily taxing rich and major corporations. They want a rapid transition to renewable energy under Democratic ownership and control. They want to end the U.S. war machine, reduce the military budget, halt economic warfare or sanctions against other nations. Does anybody forget 9/11? the Hamas attack? They want to advocate for a free Palestine. So you're going to fight Hamas? Hamas is the one that's running Palestine, not Israel. It's just their platform. This is go to your DSA USA. This is their platform. This is what they fight for. And it's a whole bunch of things that sounds like, oh wow, look, we're going to get free this, free this, free this. But no, it's not going to happen that way because you don't have the money. Look at England, the UK with their health care. They're running out of funds. Their doctors are striking. Patients are not getting the care they need. Now, we're having major issues in America because of Obamacare. But at least people have the option to, use insurance or go other routes. And they could still walk into an ER and get seen. Many people sadly skate on their bill, but you still have access to health care. Doing a universal health care where, the government will pay for everything. No, what ends up happening? You want an MRI? So does everybody else. They all want MRIs. No, you have to wait. It has to get approved. We have to see if there's funding. If there's not funding, you don't get that. Well, I want the fanciest chemotherapy. Okay, chemotherapy is nice. And I want us all treated for cancer if we have to. But with the rising number of individuals with cancer, right, are you going to get the best, or are you going to get the minimal and not the newer drugs? Think about it. 1-877 Doc Dolly.
Hey guys, it's Clyde. We've had a lot of requests for Ground Zero merchandise, so we put together an online store with a big variety of high-quality items. I'm really excited to let you know about these things. We have a lot to offer you and your loved ones. In addition to our regular apparel, such as t-shirts, beanies, hoodies, and hats, we've expanded our product line with posters, flags, aprons, mugs, and a whole lot more. We also have Ground Zero collectibles, along with a limited edition of items like a Clyde Lewis canvas portrait, a Ground Zero embroidered jacket that will certainly make for great gifts and for interesting conversations with family and friends. And we now offer publications such as Ron Patton's book about mind control, MK Zine, and back copies of the official magazine of Ground Zero while it was in print. Paranoia, the Conspiracy Reader, also coming in 2023, are updated and revised books that I've written. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. So shop today at our official store by going to groundzeromerch.com. Again, that's groundzeromerch.com.
Hey, America. How tired are you of mainstream corporate media's biased narratives and manipulated news? Their dishonesty and attempts to influence this generation have been exposed, put on display for anyone who's even half paying attention. But the New American Magazine has been an honest source of news and commentary for over 50 years. This is your opportunity to receive the stalwart of principled journalism at a deep discount. Picture a beautifully published magazine arriving at your doorstep twice a month, packed with insightful stories written with integrity. It's also available digitally on the New American's mobile app. Get up to speed with intelligent coverage from a freedom perspective. Right now, for a limited time, the New American is available to radio listeners at a 25% discount on a new subscription. Visit thenewamerican.com/radio25 and receive 25% off. Subscribe today at thenewamerican.com/radio25.
We are back on the Dr. Dahlia Show. 1-877 Dr. Dolly, 1-877 DOCDALI. So, I'm starting to get a little concerned about what we're doing in terms of prostate cancer screening. So, Gunther on Friends, he died from aggressive prostate cancer, and he was pretty young. I think he was only 50 at the time, in his 50s. President Joe Biden Apparently was given clean bills of health. And then we find out weeks after he leaves the presidency that he has aggressive metastatic prostate cancer. O.J. Simpson died of prostate cancer. Multiple Lloyd Austin, prior defense secretary, prostate cancer. I believe Silver Knights head coach had revealed he had prostate cancer. But these aggressive prostate cancers starting to make us wonder if we need to rethink our guidelines on our screening. Also makes you wonder if Jeremy Clarkson, who does Clarkson's Farms, if the farm caused him to have cancer. Let's just look at that. So prostate cancer, you'll see that prostate cancer in those that have, genetics and family history. But you also see it in firefighters. Firefighters have a higher risk of prostate cancer. They think it might be because of the bouncing of the truck and because of all the exposures that firefighters have. Well, what about farmers? Do farmers have a higher risk of prostate cancer? Well, according to, let me see if I have, a really nice source here, which I don't know if I have a nice source. The National Institutes of Health. Yep, here we go. Farmers face an elevated risk, 15 to 25% higher risk of prostate cancer. Why? Well, they're exposed to pesticides, handling of that, gene-environment interaction. They say if you have pesticide exposure, but you have a family history of prostate cancer, your risk is even higher. The exhaust and dust, diesel engine emissions, and other airborne particulates. Like with firefighters, again, another theory is you're bouncing a lot. So you see Jeremy Clarkson on that tractor bouncing around. For him to all of a sudden have aggressive prostate cancer, and I know he kind of dealt with some cardiac issues and needed cardiac stents. Should we warn our farmers? Should we warn our firefighters? I know firefighters, I believe, do get screened earlier now than what the USPSTF suggests. Maybe farmers need that as well. And the USPSTF guidelines, let me just review those as well, is where it's shared decision-making with you and your doctor. So according to the United States Preventive Services Task Force, they recommend individualized shared decision-making for men age 55 to 69. They're not screening 40-year-olds, 45-year-olds. We used to do a baseline, and then we would see if it started to rise to try to catch it early. But because of, risks of prostatectomies, and they felt some of the treatments were worse than the benefits, and they also felt that the average person will die of something else before the prostate cancer. They started to really go back and now say, wait till you're 55, talk to your medical provider if that's something you should do. And if you're over 70, the USPSTF recommends against routine screening. Well, then here you have former President Joe Biden that all of a sudden goes from 0 to 90, where now he has stage 4 prostate cancer. The idea that prostate cancer is so slow, this is what they would tell us in medical school. But prostate cancer is very, very slow. So the prostate cancer will outlive you because you'll die of something else. But I'm like, but cancer is chaotic. Not all prostate cancer is going to be slow. You can have some aggressive forms. And so if cancer is chaotic, how do we guard against that? So with my patients, I would do a screen in their 40s. And then I would rescreen them a year or two later just to see if that PSA, that prostate-specific antigen, was going up. We also did rectal exams at the time, so we could check the prostate size, make sure they were urinating okay, make sure we didn't feel any masses, even though you're only feeling part of the prostate. And then we would check the stool for blood to also see if there was possibly any early signs of colorectal cancer. And so we did a lot. Now, the average person does not get a rectal exam, does not get a prostate exam. You might want to rethink that. I'm kind of shocked that we're hearing more and more individuals get quote unquote aggressive prostate cancer, and aggressive prostate cancer in medicine used to be considered an oxymoron. And, here you had Franz Gunther. Let me see. Let me just look up what his age was. Because back in 2021, he revealed that he had stage 4 prostate cancer. And then a few months later, he died. I think he died at the age of 59, just a few months later. 59 years old. Well, if it was aggressive and it wasn't screened until his mid to late 50s, you're missing out on treatment. And so I don't have the power to change the USPSTF. The current recommendation they have is based on years and decades of data. But what if things are changing? What if it's a different type of exposure that it might be now making things more aggressive? Maybe it's people's smartphone in their pocket. Maybe it's that they're sitting longer. Maybe it's that they have less shock absorption on their cars. Maybe we are getting exposed to more chemicals that we don't realize. And so maybe our guidelines need to be reevaluated, get a baseline screen, maybe make this individual shared decision making, go back to, maybe in your early 50s or late 40s. And if you're black men get aggressive prostate cancer, aggressive colon cancer. You can't have the same guidelines and think it's a one size fits all. This was my biggest issue with colon cancer screening. They would say, don't screen for colon cancer till age 50. And my black patients, I'd be like, you should probably start screening in your 40s. We were missing so much, and we could intervene if we catch it early. So, Jeremy Clarkson, I know they say it's aggressive. He apparently is saying that, he's going to be okay. Apparently they caught it early. He had part of his prostate removed. But he is using the term aggressive. So we don't know his Gleason score, but he's only 66. He's only 66. And if he has aggressive prostate cancer, what we used to be told, or how prostate cancer used to be, is with the exception of the very aggressive ones, the majority of them, if you had prostate cancer at 66, you'd still live well into your 70s or 80s. But what if you want to live like, Clint Eastwood into your 90s? That one concern people have is, are they trying to say, look, you're going to die anyway in your 60s or 70s or 80s, so don't, no need to intervene, right? Because we're not going to live forever. But I really do see us, having more longevity. People are living longer. They're 80s and 90s. Look at Biden. I don't think Biden wanted to leave the office of the presidency to now have stage 4 prostate cancer. Why wasn't he screened? And honestly, I really do believe his medical team needs to explain themselves. They don't have to have a congressional hearing because I think they've already done that and they pleaded the fifth. But if they're taking care of patients and they are actively licensed, their medical licensing board should just investigate and go, what exactly happened? And if they say he refused, okay, they're covered. But if they said, no, we didn't recommend it because of his age, I don't know. I think we might need to reevaluate the guidelines. 1-877 Doc Dolly. Don't go away.
Looking for an easy read that can actually help secure someone's future? Pick up a copy of Mark Falter's book, Common Sense Income Strategies. For the past 30-plus years, Mark has helped thousands of hardworking Americans secure their financial future by using strategies that continue to create wealth, whether the market is up or down. Strategies that will make perfect sense once you take the time to read this powerful book. Common Sense Income Strategies brings to you what Mark has been teaching in person and talking about on the radio for decades. It's not rocket science, it's a pretty easy read. You've worked too long and too hard not to see the fruits of your labor. Common Sense Income Strategies is available now on Amazon or by calling 866-764-2635. That's 866-764-2635. Common Sense Income Strategies by financial fitness show host Mark Falter. Secure your financial future today.